and they were giving me £15 per week because I couldn't eat their food. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are here to talk about the au pair experience because I know a lot of you are actually watching my au pair experience video, which was a disaster, let's be honest, but I wanted to talk about the experience to be an au pair and what I wish I knew before actually being an au pair. So 5 things that people don't tell you, or in the past, because now things are changing of course, but when I was an au pair, nobody had told me these things. Okay, the first thing that I wish I knew is be selective. Okay, I know it's very important, you are very excited to go abroad, live in a new country, but be very selective with your family. Okay, take time to research, have interviews, because it's very important beforehand. Remember, once you're there, there's not a lot you can do, so try to be prepared before. I personally paid an agency, and it was a waste of money. So I wouldn't suggest you to do that, but try to be selective, have a lot of different options, and have interviews, say what you want to do, what you do not want to do, be very precise with that. Have a list of questions, have a list of things you would like to do, things you would hate to do as well, because it's very important. You need to be open and you need to be able to communicate with your family so that they don't take advantage of you. And basically, so my family wasn't nice at all, and when I called the agency in France to say this is a disaster, I can't stay here anymore, they basically sent me an email and said we cannot do anything for you, you chose them, you signed a contract, so now just be on your own. And they left me. I was 18 years old. They left me with my shit, basically. So that's why, choosing beforehand is very, very important. And especially if you're young, try to have your parents with you as well. Someone who speaks the language, that's very important, because they're going to sense if the family are trustworthy or not. The next thing that is very, very important, and I wish that someone had explained to me, is this is not just babysitting. Okay, this is not just like doing 2 or 3 hours of babysitting a week. It's very hard, and not a lot of people say that. Being an au pair is difficult, it's tough, it's long, it's very long hours, and you need to be prepared. So I'm going to tell you my routine, what I used to do. So I used to wake up and I had to make the kids breakfast. So I was going downstairs, preparing breakfast, etc. And then the kids would eat and we would go to school. And because the parents were a bit strange, we went to school with the kids with a taxi. So the taxi would take us to school, and then after I was on my own, going back home to go back to my English school, language school, where I was studying English in the morning. So in the morning I was studying English after taking care of breakfast and driving more or less the kids to school. And so I would take the bus to go to my own school, language school in the city center. And then at midday, so when my lessons had finished, I would go back home to have a quick lunch, work on my things, do my homework, relax a little bit. And at 3 p.m. I was going back to school to pick up the kids. I took the bus to go there, but on the way back we were taking a taxi again. So I had to take the bus because, I didn't mind, but it was a bit strange. But then we weren't allowed to take the bus with the kids because the parents wouldn't allow that. And then from there until 6 or 7, I was taking care of the kids, which was very, very long. So first we were relaxing, playing some games, having a snack as well. So I had to make snacks, which, by the way, is very, very different in the UK than in France. They could have like fried potatoes, like chips, kind of smiley chips for snacks. And I was like, oh, what is that? So that was very strange for me, but anyway. And after that, we would work on their homework, school stuff, play a little more, and then it was time to shower. So I would help them with showering, getting ready for bed, and later, dinner, etc. And that was basically my day. When the parents came back home, I didn't have to do anything anymore, basically. But during the day, I still had to find the time in some way to clean. And I had to hoover, vacuum, basically quite a lot of things. I didn't have to do anything in the parents' bedroom, obviously, thank God. So I had to do all of that in the kids' room, so vacuum the floor, tidy everything, prepare clothes for the next day, prepare the gym bags as well, and that's during the day. So they were very, very strict on the cleaning, and I think that's the thing, with being an au pair. It's a mix of babysitting and doing the housework. But you need to find a balance. You're not a maid. But when you're 18 or very young, it's your first time abroad in a new family, you're alone. It's very difficult to say, no, that's not what I'm here for. So don't be scared to do that beforehand, to limit yourself and to do... It's normal to help a little bit. It's not normal to do everything, and it's not normal that, for example, when they eat, you clean after them. That is not normal. So yeah, just beforehand, be very, very strict and very, very open about what you do not do, okay? If you agree with cleaning that, then of course you have to do it, and you have to do it well, which is normal. That's why you're there. But it shouldn't be too much, The next thing that I really want to talk about and to dive in is the money. You don't become an au pair for the money, because the money is really bad. Basically, you have 300, 400 per month, but that's not compared to the hours of work you do. If you compare it to the hours you do, it's basically nothing, but it's enough to live if you have help from your parents or if you've worked before. It's not enough to live properly, have fun, meet friends, go out during the weekends with just that money. That's really difficult. It's something to have in mind. It would be better to be prepared beforehand for money, or to have help with your parents or family members, because it is expensive to live abroad if you want to enjoy yourself, which is it should be, I hope, the main focus, to learn a language, meet people, have a total different experience. So bear that in mind, that is not a lot of money. And for me, I had, I think, a bit less than 400, but I had to take the bus to go to my school, which was not included. And they were giving me £15 per week because I couldn't eat their food, because my family was Indian, which I thought at the time was fantastic because it was another culture, but they were eating very spicy food and they didn't want to cook something different for me. So they were giving me £15 a week, which is nothing. I can't even imagine now. It's nonsense. So I was buying my stuff because they didn't want to buy me normal, non-spicy food. And basically, when I asked one day, after 1 month and a half, I was like, £15 is not enough. It's what we agreed on, but it's not enough for my food. It's not enough if I just want to have a coffee outside, Coffee costs £3 and £6 or £7 if you go to Starbucks, which is a luxury. So they said, no, we agreed on 15, so that's it. I was like, okay. Okay. You know, I was brave enough to ask, and she was like, no. All right, okay. So yeah, again, you know, that wasn't something we planned before because we didn't really know. But again, something very, very important to talk about, the money. Try to ask about the costs of life there. Have some, make some research as well online on transports, like how much is the bus, how much is a monthly membership or something to take the bus, to take taxis, Ubers, etc. Because it's going to be a big part of your expenses. Next point, which is a bit sad, is that at first you will feel lonely. And that is very important to know, and it's normal. They basically sent me an email and said, we cannot do anything for you. You know, started from scratch, starting from zero, you have a new life. It's a bit lonely because you don't know anyone. So, of course, at the beginning, take your time, you know, it's normal. But it's really important that you find a group of people, maybe take some lessons, you know, languages lesson if you're learning English or other languages, to meet people. Try to find maybe a sport, you know, try to do something where you have groups of people that you can meet. Also, the thing with au pair, there is a big community and you can find different au pairs everywhere, even in the smallest cities or around. So that's very important to connect with them. First, to share your experience and of course to try to make connections and not feel that lonely when you're there. I was in New York, which is not the biggest city, but I was the only French. But there were other au pairs, so we met. One was actually going to the same school as me for the kids, so we would meet when I was picking up my children, and it was just cool to chat with someone who was doing the same thing. And that leads us to our last point, which is very important, which is have a plan B, have a backup plan. Why? Because, as I said, sometimes things are not going to progress the way you want. It's not the way you expected. The family is horrible. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, it's just not working. And you've tried, okay? You've tried to communicate. You've tried to make it work. But it doesn't. You need a backup plan. So don't go to a new country without a backup plan. Try to have connections. Try to build and enter a community before even going to the country. It could be with blogs, it could be with forums, it could be with YouTube channels if you have an au pair, you know, working and doing videos. Try to connect with lots of people beforehand because it might save you, literally. When I decided to quit and when I was fired, like we both decided it wasn't working, I basically had like 2 days to take my stuff and go, and they didn't even help me, you know, with my luggage. I had 2 huge luggage, and they had stairs, so they had a floor, and they didn't even help me with my luggage, like to go downstairs. So I had to throw my luggage in the stairs, and I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, so you know, you really need a backup plan because you can be literally in the street or in a hotel, very expensive, if you can afford it. Or you can just go home in 2 days and the adventure is ending there, which would be a shame, really, because living abroad is so fantastic, guys. You need just a backup plan. So I was taking English lessons in the morning, as I've told you, and that language school, they had host families. So a host family is basically a family that you pay to stay in their houses. They speak English, they cook dinner for you, sometimes even lunch, you decide, and you spend time with them, you know. It's just like having your own place, your own flat, but with the family aspect. And it was just fantastic. That's what I needed. I remember there were 2 or 3 other students with me from the school, and the host mom was just the best person ever. And she even cooked a Christmas dinner in advance for us, a typical British Christmas dinner. And, you know, we would email and call, and she was just lovely, really lovely. That was my backup plan with the school. They organized everything, and I was gone there in 2 or 3 days. And it was such a relief. So I would highly suggest you to do something like that, to have friends who have flats or who have families, even au pair families that are open, nice, that you can run to if something goes wrong. Because you never know. Okay, so try to do that in advance, guys, because it's probably life-saving. And yeah, guys, I hope this video was helpful if you are thinking of becoming an au pair, if you just wanted to know the behind the scenes a little bit. But overall, I think it's a great experience, and I might do like a positive sides of being an au pair as well, because we hear a lot of negative stories, but it's teaching you so many good things as well, and things you will need in your life in the future. So maybe I'll do another video like that. Let me know if you would like to have the positive sides of being an au pair as well. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, and yeah, bye!